Contract questions fail more students than any other section. Why? Because most people study definitions but can't apply them under pressure. Here's how we'll do it. 15 questions, grouped into 3 blocks. 1 point for each correct answer. Can you score a perfect 15? Let's find out. Ready? These first 5 test whether you understand broker obligations and what makes contracts valid or voidable. Pay close attention. These concepts protect you legally, not just on exam day. First up, this scenario tests if you know your fiduciary duties. Broker David obtained the right to purchase a commercial acreage property within 90 days and also took a listing for the property. If he decides to exercise his right to purchase the property on the 87th day of the listing, what must he do before buying the property? The correct answer is D. When a broker has both a listing and an option to purchase, they're wearing 2 hats. Before buying the property themselves, they must disclose all outstanding offers, get the owner's written consent, and provide full material information. It's about transparency. You can't hide information when you're the buyer. Here's one about contract validity. Don't confuse the terms. If one party to a contract is subject to undue influence or duress, it renders the contract. The right answer is C, voidable. If someone can prove they were forced or unfairly pressured to sign, they can choose to cancel the contract. That makes it voidable, not void. This one trips up a lot of people. Read carefully. If the liquidated damages clause is initiated in a real estate purchase contract and the buyer defaults, what should happen to the deposit? C is the right answer here. It should be utilized to cover liquidated damages for both the seller and listing broker. Important note. The agent's share can never exceed the commission they were originally promised. If you're struggling with contract scenarios like these, here's good news. Lexawise has over 1,000 flashcards and topic-based practice tests that drill these exact situations until they're automatic. Links in the description below. Pop quiz, do you remember this concept? The terms valuable, good, sufficient, and adequate are most closely associated with which contractual concept? This time the answer is A, consideration. Consideration can be money, goods, services, or even a promise, but it has to be something of value that both parties agree to exchange. This is one of the essential elements of every valid contract. Last one in Group 1, pay attention to timing on this one. Mr. Adams made a written offer to purchase a home through broker Smith, but passed away before being notified of a qualified, signed acceptance by the seller. Which of the following statements is correct? Got it? The correct answer is B. The offer made by Mr. Adams was terminated due to his death. Timing is everything here. Since Mr. Adams died before he was notified of acceptance, there was no meeting of the minds. No valid contract existed. The seller is free to consider other offers. If he'd been notified before his death, his estate would be bound to complete the transaction. Great. 5 down. How many did you get right? Keep that number in mind. Next 5 questions test your knowledge of contract types, legal doctrines, and essential elements. These show up constantly. Master them now. Here's a legal doctrine you need to know cold. What prevents an individual from adopting a position that conflicts with a previous position or action? A is the right answer. The doctrine of estoppel stops someone from contradicting themselves. If you've made a statement or taken an action, you can't later flip and say the opposite, especially if someone relied on your original position. It prevents people from going back on their word or breaking agreements. If these explanations help things click, imagine having 100 free questions just like these. Start with our free practice test. Links in the description. This definition shows up everywhere. Know it. How would you define a bilateral contract? The correct answer is A. Think bi equals 2. Both parties make promises. Don't overthink this one. It's more straightforward than it seems. What is a listing agreement? B is the right one. A legal contract between the seller and a broker that establishes their agency or non-agency relationships. Watch for the word not in this question. Which of the following is not an essential element of every valid contract? A. The payment of money is your answer. Here are the 4 essential elements of a valid contract: mutual consent, or meeting of the minds, competent parties or adequate capacity, lawful object or legal act, and consideration, which refers to something of value exchanged. You're doing great. Final question of this group. What is the name of the process where one party is substituted for another party in a contract? Did you choose B? Yes, novation is the right answer. More than halfway through. Drop your score in the comments. Final stretch. These last 5 cover what must be in writing, how to interpret contracts, and special clauses. Don't lose focus. These protect you from legal nightmares. The Statute of Frauds is testable. Know what requires writing. Which of the following has to be in writing according to the Statute of Frauds? Yes, C is the correct answer. A 5-year lease for a commercial retail outlet. A 5-year lease exceeds 1 year, so it must be written. The other options are either short-term or don't involve real estate transfers. This protects buyers and sellers. Understand the priority. Most real estate contracts come with pre-printed clauses or blank spaces that can be filled with written information. Which of the following is correct about the interpretation of such contracts? It's C for this one. The written parts take precedence over the pre-printed parts. This clause shows up all the time. What could be an effect of a clause in a sales agreement that states, "Time is of the essence"? Did you say B? You're right. Time is of the essence means deadlines are strict and enforceable. Almost there. This tests assignment rules. What is the result of an assignment made by a lessee without the landlord's consent when the lease includes an assignment clause that requires landlord approval? C is the correct answer. The assignment is voidable. The assignment isn't automatically void. Instead, the landlord gets to decide. They can either accept the new tenant or cancel the lease. This makes it voidable. Last question. Your final point is at stake. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who are new to the home buying process, toured a home that featured fixtures dating back to the 1800s. While viewing the property, the real estate agent disclosed to them that the fixtures would not be included in the sale, as the sellers had a personal attachment to them. If the fixtures were not mentioned in the purchase contract, then yes, the answer is A. The fixtures should remain in the home according to the parole evidence rule. The parole evidence rule says the written contract is king. Amazing work. You just tackled 15 contract questions that show up on every real estate exam. Hit that subscribe button so you get fresh exam prep every single week. We're here to help you pass on the first try.